Video games. You all know what they are. Whether you play them, seen them in stores, or heard of them on the internet, they have all had an effect on us in many different ways. YouTube today, for instance, wouldn't be the same without gaming, along with many movies and TV shows, as they share similar technologies. In this documentary, we will be covering the history and effects that gaming has had on media. Mainstream video games have been around since the early 1970s. The first commercial video game, Computer Space by Nutting Associates, was introduced in 1971. In 1972, Atari introduced Pong to the arcades. An interesting item to note is that Atari was formed by Nolan Bushnell, the man who developed Computer Space. He left Nutting Associates to create Atari, which then produced Pong, the first truly successful commercial arcade video game. Since then, many companies began to follow. When the NES was created, the true journey had begun. By December 1991, nearly 30 million consoles were sold in the US alone, and 61.91 million worldwide. Chain restaurants such as McDonald's and Pizza Hut began to adopt this new craze by hosting tournaments for gaming and even adding consoles in their restaurants. With this newfound success, the gaming world would continue to grow. Companies continued to strive for more advanced technology, and it worked. On December 3rd, 1994, Sony released the PlayStation. With better graphics and a large lineup of games, Sony proceeded to sell over 105 million copies worldwide. This proved that even after a 10-year gap from the NES, gaming was only gaining interest. This trend continued. The next PlayStation, PlayStation 2, sold over 159 million copies, and became the mark of a new era, the Golden Era. Titles such as Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, that are all well known today, were birthed because of this video game race. Skipping to the mid-2000s, everyone is now well aware of video games. And now let's introduce the internet and YouTube. Everyone wanted to play together, but that wasn't always possible as there were limitations in consoles, and dial-up internet restricted playable online. Once the internet became available to the gaming world, there's a complete utter takeover. People who couldn't get their hands on games would watch it on YouTube. YouTube allowed the inclusion of everyone. There were comments, subscriptions, and on top of all of that, it was free. This had created a whole new industry. Not only can you play games for fun, but for money. With YouTube practically becoming a giant ad for video games, the gaming community began to explode. There are talks of video games in the news, movies, shows, and almost every form of media. The exposure of video games didn't stop there. It continued to gain attention from large organizations such as FIFA, who had also hosted their own video game tournaments. Society began to accept video games as another form of mass media, and ultimately changed it forever.
From arcades, to the internet, to homes, gaming has only grown. Not only from the perspective of the players, but also viewers and content creators. From a small box in your home, to a giant event with millions of spectators and millions of dollars to win. Gaming has become so large and relevant that tournament prizes can even reach 52 million USD without any age restrictions. Even famous artists have joined in on the trend, with live performances of Marshmello and even famous K-pop stars such as Sooyeon. Gaming has not only created a large-scale entertainment system equal to movies, but has also created thousands of jobs. The gaming craze and takeover in the mid-2000s had created a whole new job market equivalent to movie actors. Some notable gaming icons are PewDiePie, Captain Sparkles, and Ninja. In 2018 alone, of simply playing Fortnite, Ninja was estimated to make well over 10 million euros. Even if you aren't a popular streamer, that doesn't mean you can make money. Esports and large gaming events on June 28, 2019, a 16-year-old boy won an amazing $3 million in a matter of a few hours. Dota, a well-known video game in the eastern region of the world, is known for its astonishing prize pools, ranging from 20 to 30 million USD. Our world is developing quickly, and every industry is keeping pace, including gaming. As you mentioned before, there are huge esport events with massive prize pools. Everyone around the world plays games. Many of our favorite artists have been involved in gaming events like Drake, Marshmello, and even Snoop Dogg. People have developed tight-knit communities built around gaming. Some people host game jams, where developers have 24 hours to make a game, which then players vote on which game is the best. Some people stream their reactions and gameplay to a few people or a few million people. It's popular among communities, streamers especially, to host charity events where viewers can donate and contribute to charity programs. Around the world, you can even visit gaming cafes, and you notice that nobody is ever excluded from these places and events. Everyone is always welcome, despite being multi-billion-dollar consumer industries. Games have brought people together, built relationships, and developed into a thriving community, all over a shared love for playing and experiencing the game together. So, how were you introduced to gaming?
How was I introduced to gaming? I started playing games like when I was really young, I guess. Cause I mean, at our age, like, gaming was already a big thing. Like Nintendo and Atari and all them, like, have already taken over, like, the world. So when I don't even know how old I was, like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there. My uncle got me a Game Boy, like one of the, not the original one, but the one that folded, the Game Boy Advance, one of those ones. And yeah, so I played like Pokemon on that. There was like this Scooby-Doo game I had, like just these like little games, like, and I would play them like when I came home from school. I was never allowed to bring it to school because God forbid if I broke it, I was gonna be, I don't know, I was gonna be in trouble. But yeah, I just kind of developed a fascination with that little thing, and then after that I got a GameCube. That was a pretty sick little console, and then a PS3, and then here I am. I still play games.
So, how have games affected you?
So the games have affected me like in a competitive sense, I guess. Ever since I played more games, I've been much more competitive when it comes to like marks or basically anything I kind of do. If I ever like, exercise, or if I ever join a sports team, I definitely have a passion not to lose, as gaming has definitely made me much more competitive. Yeah, just a lot more competitive.
In real life as well, right?
Yeah, much more in real life, honestly. Like, sometimes you just play games casually, but then, when you're kind of in the moment, you're in the flow of state, you kind of just really want to win. You go really competitive, you you go all in. And yeah, it's kind of what gaming has affected me.
Video games have become a large part of the media world, with an industry supporting over billions of players worldwide, and even becoming as well known as TV shows and movies. Video games have influenced the way media is perceived. In the end, whether you hate it or love it, video games have shifted society and the way media is received. Gaming has brought us all together and has created many communities of supportive, caring, and creative people, all looking to be a part of something.